Hi, this is Andrew Krug, the Global Community Manager for Niantic Labs, and you're listening to the Agent Academy podcast.
Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/agentacademy. Over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle or MP3 player. And now, welcome to the Agent Academy.
Downloading latest intel package. Welcome back. I was getting worried about you.
Agent Academy, episode number 48, recorded on February 18th, 2019. I'm Agent Goonie Guy.
I'm Agent Zellerbelly.
A.K.A. Destructo. Everything okay over there?
Yeah, I dropped my phone. I'm like, I'll just check my phone real fast while he's doing the intro. And I just dropped it on top of my mic, basically.
I thought the cat was taking another poop.
No, not yet.
Not yet, but
He'll
soon.
be in here shortly. Yeah.
Speaking of poop, no, not speaking of poop. We've got lots of news to go through. Short show. I've got to get somewhere in a little bit, so we're going to cut it a little bit early tonight. So forgive us. But with that, I wanted to see what you've been doing. I know you've been playing some Ingress.
I did play a little Ingress. I played a little Pokemon Go and Ingress. And I did a little maintenance. Like, I updated a couple of my missions that keep getting rejected that I really, really want to go through. There's like this cool trail in Michigan called the Tunnel of Trees, and it's a 20-mile trail. And people kind of drive it in the fall, like, obviously, because like colors of the leaves and stuff are at their peak at that point. And I mean, you can drive it anytime, but I'm trying to there's like barely 6 portals along that route. So I keep trying to get that approved. So that one's been a little tough. And I just did a new image today that I photoshopped myself. So it's like, it's collage, but it's unique because of the collaginess of it. And then I tried to do one there's an international dark sky park up around near Mackinac, which is like the tip of Michigan, lower Michigan. And it's a 24/7 park, and you go there and you can look at the northern, conditions being, perfect. You can see the northern lights from there. So it's a dark sky park.
Oh, cool.
So and there's like 12 points along the trail in there. So I'm like, that's a perfect mission. So trying to get those to approve. They keep getting rejected. So I'm just like, I tweak them a little each time. Someday they'll go through. I'm hoping.
See what's
because
happening.
they seem like cool ones. Yeah.
So do you think it was mostly the image?
Yeah, it's definitely. I think it's the image, because there's nothing wrong with the the park's 24/7. There's portals in there. There's no reason why.
Right.
So I don't know. So it should be fine. I'll just keep tweaking the images. And then one of mine has a poor rating. So I adjusted it to make it a little easier, because it was an upgrade one, but it's an area that's like highly contested. So it's not always easy for players. If you're on the other side, if you're a new player, you might not be able to blow up the enemy side.
Right.
Or if you're on the side that owns it, you might not be able to upgrade it, because you might not be high enough to upgrade it, or it might be fully upgraded. So I think that might have something to do with why it's getting a poor rating, or it might just be getting a poor rating because it's very highly enlightened focused. So
Right.
that might be why it's getting a poor rating. So
like it has a frog in the picture or something?
It is. Yeah. Well, sort of. It actually does. It is called enlightened, like ENL in there. So
So probably, yeah.
bright green, and yeah. So that might be why as well. So I made it easier, and that might be why.
I wonder if because if you cancel a mission out, it will give you the option to vote on it still. So I wonder if one person can sit there canceling in and out and keep voting.
Don't tell
down.
people that.
Well, I don't know if you can or not. I'm just wondering.
I don't know.
Someone
So
let
I
us
did
know.
yeah.
But don't do it.
No. So I updated some of my missions, and then I went out. Pogo Community Day was Saturday, and I got a really terrible shiny mammoth swine out of the deal. That's the like woolly mammothy looking thing, but it's green. So I was like,
Ooh.
yeah, totally want that. And then I got my Valentine's Spinda today. You had to do
Is it a
in
big
case you
Spinda?
people. It's a Valentine's Spinda. It has like a little heart on it. Like if people don't play Pokemon Go, like don't care about this, but you had to do 5 great curveball throws in a row, which is like impossible for me. I thought, like I was actually telling someone while I was doing it, like how impossible it was when I did it. I'm like, oh. And then Friday night we were hanging out here at my house, and we had a friend over, and then all of a sudden, like my house is covered in blue. I'm like, that's weird, right? And I look, and it's huge, but the tip of it just happens to be like a mile or 2 away. So someone from the green team that I know too, he messaged me and he's like, feel like heading to town over. Like, I do feel like that. So,
They won't make that mistake again, huh?
so I went out. No, this is funny. Then I go out, I go to this town, and I'm like, there's this gazebo. Well, 3 of the points were in parks that were already closed. So I was like, I couldn't do anything about that, but I could kind of whittle away at the internal layers, type of deal. There were like 3 internal layers I could do. Because this thing was like 1 million MUs. It was big. So I'm trying to blow them up, and the person, like someone's recharging on it. And I'm like, oh man, because I had just, before I noticed the field, I had just recharged all my portals. So I was like out of power cubes. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like, I'm going to have to like Jarvis this thing, which I wanted the AP, for blowing the field. So I'm like, oh man. So I'm walking around in the dark next to this gazebo, and there's a canal on one side and the road on the other. This car comes pulling up, parks. The guy gets out. It's dark. He's like, what did he say? He said something like, we just did all that. I think that's the quote. And he introduced himself, and I introduced myself, and he was super friendly. And so I actually had managed to get that one down to just 2 resonators. So out of, I don't know, I figured since I already blew the field, it would just be insulting to blow up the whole thing. So I left that one there? Since, yeah.
Just...
So, and I was like, but, it's like what I'm supposed to do.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
But he was super nice about it. And I mean, considering all the work they put into getting these massive fields and layers done. So, but yeah, I still went and blew up the other 2 layers that I could reach. I told him, I'm like, you're safe. I can't get to the other 2. They're in parks.
And then you went and got them?
No, I went and got
you left them.
There were a couple layers outside the park. So I got like 3 layers of the 6
nice work, agent.
And I met an opponent that I've seen around a lot, like the name. So that was kind of nice.
That's good. Cross-faction relations and taking down some MU.
Yeah. How was your week?
My week's been it's been odd, Ingress wise, just because there's been a few agents playing downtown and lighting it up, which doesn't happen much. So I was able to go down there and get some AP the other day and blew through a bunch of bursters, which I probably should have saved for the anomaly, but I'll go farm those when I get down to New Orleans. So just been kind of getting ready for that, kind of prepping the car. Got to change my brakes, and I got an oil change today. And tomorrow I got to do some more stuff on my car, because I'm going to be driving it there and then driving it to Atlanta for that anomaly, and then driving up to Chicago in May.
Oh my gosh.
So getting ready for all that. So
you're on tour.
Yeah. And Also got the AP from the first Saturday, so that was a nice little chunk of change there. And
Nice.
got another 2 portals approved, which is good. I'm kind of lighting up this little city that's really close to me, and it's like one of the smallest cities you can think of, but I've like doubled the amount of portals that they've had there, and I still have a few more in the hopper that I'm trying to get and hopefully, I don't know, make it a nice little
Awesome.
AP farm.
Awesome.
But that's about it.
I did find a little park in a neighborhood, and I saw it on the map. So, and I drove over to it. I'm thinking, well, I'll just add their park, and then the neighborhood it'll be for Ingress, but then on top of that too, they'll have a little Pokestop or whatever. I get there, this little park. It's a park that has clear signage. It has a playground area. It has a gazebo. And it had a little free library. I was like,
Oh, wow.
submit.
Were you looking at like S2 cells and trying to get things just...
No, unfortunately the whole park is in like one square. So
okay.
Yeah, one cell. So I'm like, sorry. I did what I could.
Well, I've got a test. So I've been kind of looking around trying to figure out the whole S2 cell thing, and there's controversy, of course, because Niantic hasn't like officially said this is the thing, except for they have said 20 meters. Like, just worry about 20 meters. And so
that's all I worried about when I was submitting those. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you look at the S2 cells, I mean, they're not much more than 20 meters wide, and maybe a little bit more like long.
Yeah.
So I did submit a portal, and I'm hopefully getting it approved for the May 4th first Saturday, because it's a Han Solo like statue thing in carbonite frozen, and looks great. But it is definitely in an S2 cell that other portals are in, but it's more than 20 meters between the closest two.
You should be fine then for
so
a portal.
So it'll be a good test to see if the S2 cells really matter. Or if
I
it's
think
just
that matters
the
for
meters.
Pokemon Go. I don't think it matters for Ingress.
So you think it would show up in Ingress but not Pokemon Go?
Right. If there's already a Pokestop or a gym in that cell, I don't think you'll see a new Pokestop in that cell with it. But as long as it's 20 meters away, you'll still get a portal out of the deal.
Well, see, and that's what's confusing to me. Is like some people are saying that Ingress uses a different S2 cell level than Pokemon Go, and I just don't know.
They might. I mean, this is all what I've heard. I mean, they've not released anything official about that because they don't want people gaming the system. So when I say that very matter-of-factly, simply because it's worked for me.
Right.
But I don't have anything official to base that on other than personal trial and error, and I may have just been getting lucky. So
Right. And so and I'm in the same boat as you. I don't know either, so I figured I would try to do a test, and we'll see.
There you go.
So that is also looking at doing a first Saturday, like I was saying, in May. Going to skip the next few months because of the anomalies. We actually have 2 anomalies that are so close to us in the area that I thought that having a first Saturday that falls pretty much a week after, people might be kind of ingressed out or traveling out.
Or prepping, trying to gather stuff, and
And the restocking portal really doesn't give you the stuff you need for anomalies, so as much as that would be cool to have in the extra AP, I figured I'd wait, see how it's going. One of the agents who did attend is talking about doing one in Birmingham, which is about an hour and a half south of Huntsville, so I'd go down there and support that and help them out. So hopefully we'll see that.
Yeah.
And I guess that's it. Let's move on to
Situation report.
Today, there's a ton of news. I guess the big thing this week was Resistance wins the Global Hack Challenge. 2.39 million. 2,390,000. Exactly. It was on the dot. It was amazing.
Wow.
No, it's good.
That's astounding and unlikely.
And 2.2 million for Enlightened. And so they had the choice to pick one of like 4 different options. the POCs for the anomalies did, and they picked one called Loyalty, which will be the opposite faction. So it reads as opposite faction portal hack output will decrease by 50%, and same faction portal output will increase by 20%. And in my brain, when I first read that, I thought that was saying that like the enlightened portals will all like enlightened agents will get 50% less. But someone mentioned in some chat somewhere that it's the portal. So if it's your faction's portal, it'll get 50%, whether you're resistance or enlightened. But if you're hacking the other faction's portal, it'll be decreased. So no more dirty hacking, or you won't get anything. Well, a lot less, 20% less, 50% less.
Yeah.
Numbers, jeez.
It's hard, man. It's hard.
So. I don't know. That'll be interesting to see. And I don't know the duration of that. I assume it's from the beginning of the first anomaly to the end of the last one?
That would be my assumption.
So that'll be interesting with the new mechanic with having to hack as part of it, media. So if you're controlling the portals and you're hacking it for the media, I wonder if you'll get more media, or if that'll still be the same amount, or that's kind of the cool thing about new mechanics is you don't know until you play it and you see and you find out for that first anomaly that starts doing it. So then that information will get passed along to the other locations, and all suddenly everybody will be scrambling to change their tactics possibly. And then after that we have Dunraven Foundation number 15 was released. Did you get a chance to watch this one? It just came out.
I just caught up to 14, and then I heard 15 came out, so I didn't get a chance to watch 15, but I just caught up to 14.
Well, it's kind of cool. So Clue, an old investigator, made an appearance. So I won't spoil it, what the story is around it. Just go watch it. But I think the last one, this one, you start kind of finding some cool, interesting things that start making everything make more sense, I think. To me, at least.
Sure.
And then the AMA. Andrew Krug answered some questions.
He did.
And it's, I think it was like 92 questions. So we're going to read all those off. Are you ready? No, not really.
Go for it. No. The one I was interested in was the capsule renaming. We kind of brought that up last time about how we were wondering, like, what do we push? What do we hold down? What do we long press? What do we do to get this capsule renaming to happen? It turns out, that was a typo. I don't know how you typo an entire phrase like we're gonna add in capsule renaming, and they actually meant to type, "Hi, how you doing?" I mean, I don't know.
What's the typo there?
What's the typo?
We won't be putting in capsule.
Somebody's
renaming.
cat walked across the keyboard, and occasionally you get a work of art. I don't know.
That's like on my Telegram messages to you. They'll just be like lines, letters.
Yeah, I got a few of those. Yeah.
Cat's drinking my coffee.
Oh, my dog, she likes coffee. I have to hide it from her.
Also, Q3 and Q4 event announcements are coming soon. I thought they would be before the taping of this episode, but I've seen nothing. So I'm sure everybody's getting ready for the anomaly, as well as traveling around the world. I know Krug was out doing that stuff, so we'll find out soon what the events entail. If we start a new whole season, or if they'll just do some one-offs. It'll be interesting to find out. Also, Scott Frank, the product manager for Niantic, he posted about what's going on with the development of Ingress in a new thing called Ingress Prime Insights, and I think they're going to be doing this a little more often, which means every once in a while. I don't know how.
Occasionally.
It's like we're going to be doing Instagram posts a lot, and then it's just kind of slows down. But
sorry.
Not you. I was talking about
Oh,
Niantic.
I've totally selected. As soon as you're like, we're going to be doing our Instagram all the time now, and I'm like, oops. Sorry, go ahead.
What was I saying? Oh,
Sorry.
the top priorities right now is still reaching feature parity, portal submissions, and scoring, as well as the other big projects this year are transitioned to a new server. So not much different there than we all expected, and it seems like it is going to kind of fill out this year. So people who like Redacted apparently will get a while to play with it still.
Not a while. It
And
kind of sounded to me like it's not going to be a while. Like,
I-
you're going to have to say goodbye to Redacted. But I guess that's all just... the reason
Yeah.
I say that is because I don't think it's going to be as long as people who like Redacted want it to be.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I guess it's perspective. Yeah.
I feel like kind of the year, just from things that Andrew said before, that he felt like it was going to take till the end of the year for feature parity to happen.
Mm-hmm.
They may speed that up some. They may not. They may. We just have to keep pushing for the redacted skin in Prime.
I love the idea of skins. We've talked about that forever. So
So everybody keep pushing for that. And he did announce in, I believe, a Brisbane AMA he did, that they wouldn't be updating Redacted, though. So it will be staying exactly how it is. Assuming there's no like horrible bugs, I guess, that come out that they might have to fix if there's some sort of security issue. But
or
we'll see.
oh wow, nightmare scenario. A big bug happens and they're just like, shut it down now.
Yeah, it's true.
Ugh. Yeah.
I think that would hurt them in the long
But
run.
yeah, because you don't have an Intel page or screen, and you don't have a portal submission built into a Prime yet. So until I think once those two things go into Prime, then you're gonna have to start saying your goodbyes to Redacted.
And speaking of the portal submissions, they got sued. It was like 3 years ago. They got sued about their portals by angry homeowners, and they lost, or they settled, one or the other, something like that.
Well, that's kind of like losing.
Right? I guess in the end, it is a loss to them.
Yeah.
Which it's going to be interesting because that kind of says that they are saying, yes, we don't completely own this AR space. It is, or it is affecting other things. So are we going to have businesses do what?
I agree with all the changes that they came up with. Like, if it's private land owned by someone else, then I don't think AR Space has a right to just throw stuff in there that would encourage people to traipse upon said private land. So,
right, yeah, and I think their biggest mistake was probably not dealing with stuff fast enough, because I guess the things they stipulated to that this hasn't been officially like approved by a judge, but this is kind of their offer they've put in. Is that they will remove portals within 15 days. They already have a form. They've had a form that you can fill out to get stuff taken down, but I guess they haven't been doing it fast enough. They will also remove any stops within 40 meters of that location, and they'll maintain a database of all these locations and not allow new portals to be created in those spots. Also, park authorities will be able to tell Niantic to basically turn off the portals during closed hours, which is interesting to me.
that's super interesting. Like, what happens? I know they're talking about Pokemon Go in the
Right.
settlement, but does that mean that the portal just goes away for Pokemon Go and the portal's still there for Ingress, or is it all Niantic AR component? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
Because what happens if there's a field up off?
what if it's all
portal?
fielded off of it? Yeah.
Does
like,
it just
does
mean
the field
that the field
go
stays,
away?
but you can't interact with it?
Yeah. Well, that's what I would hope, because honestly, if the park's closed, you're not supposed to be able to go in there to blow it up anyway. So
Right.
your field should be, even if like that's the enemy's field, like They went in there, they got it done in the right hours of the day, and their field's going to be up until the park opens again. So that seems like the correct way to do that, but I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Not sure how it's going to play out.
And you make a good point. This may just be Pokemon Go. That'll be interesting in itself. Is if they feel that Ingress can kind of skate by, like maybe either there's fewer players that have to deal with it, or they feel Ingress players are better at not going into parks after dark and things like that.
Because the lawsuit was specifically against Pokemon Go, but with Wizards Unite coming out, I don't know. You might want to just nip any future problems in nip it in the bud type of deal. And
well, and I wonder how much
before you make everyone mad again.
Right. We just said Pokemon Go. You got to do another lawsuit. Yeah. So, and this is binding for 3 years and still has to be approved by a judge. They've also will add in that if more than 10 people show up at a raid, and this is Pokemon Go raid, a message will warn players to be courteous to others, which I find humorous. But I almost wonder if this is just to satisfy this lawsuit, and that everybody else has kind of gotten used to it. Like that they just need this to go away, so that everybody else is just like, nah, we're kind of used to living in this world of Pokemon Go now, and people doing these weird things in our parking lot.
Because it's been 3 years, right?
Yeah.
That this lawsuit's been going on, so.
And if they're just saying we're just holding to this for 3 years, and then we'll see what happens after that, like,
yeah.
I mean, because it does seem to kind of add a big burden to, like, all suddenly you have to be flipping portals on and off at different times and keeping track of it. I know it's all like computerized, but still, data like that, can be easy to kind of screw up at times. And I know they don't want to get sued again.
A lot of if we're just going to go by parks, a lot of businesses and park information is entered into Google Maps. So that information, they might have that information already. Like, it wouldn't be something they'd have to update all the time.
Well, except for they're not saying they're going to do it for parks. They're saying that parks can tell them to do it.
Well, okay.
So, right? Like, it's a little different.
Specifically, yeah, if a specific location asks for that.
And how many parks, I wonder how many parks are actually yelling at them for that, or asking them, because they could have just asked for the stops to be gone already.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's just kind of this is something that the lawyers and stuff kind of put together that they should do, and they're following it. But I guess we'll find out. But speaking of more Pokemon Go, there was a article that came out on a Poke Go news site about how to get to level 12 in 2 months solo in Ingress. And it was a pretty atrocious article.
I was like, I've already told Goonie Guy, I was so tense reading this article, and it's frustrating. There's some of the comments too, like, that people made were, well, if you can get to level 12 in 2 months, like, you probably live in an area that has a lot of portals available. Like, it's not going to work for your average rural player, which the article actually does admit in the beginning. But yeah, comments, the quotes the ones that really bothered me was that it said that, if you miss a day on your Sojourner badge, you'll never know where you left off because there's no way to tell where you're at. It's like, no, there's a menu option for now, and you could see where you're at now. In they didn't know how to use the user interface of Ingress, and it's frustrating. And it just said to ignore comms. Don't get involved in the community. That's not what you're there for. Because this was the whole goal of this guide, was to get Pokemon Go players up to level 12 as quickly as possible so that they could submit and assess portals, because OPR is pretty much dead from the Ingress side, since the very few Ingress players left can't be bothered with it anymore, is a quote from the article.
It's just crazy.
I was just like, oh!
And just the comments on the Reddit post for it was just like, it was almost as bad. Like, people were saying, hey, you should get in with the community. Don't tell them you're doing this for Pokemon Go. Get in with the community, because they'll help level you up to like level 9 in like a night, and then you can just do the rest on your own and just, basically ghost on everyone. And I'm like, and you wonder why like Pokemon Go gets like a bad rep sometimes, and it's that sort of attitude.
Yeah, and like the advice in the article said, don't talk to the community at all. Right. And it says, here's another quote: throw around links as often as you can. You might accidentally create some fields on the fly, or throw links across the whole city, and that'll make, like, I'm paraphrasing now, but that'll make all the Ingress players mad and ruin their fielding plans. But don't worry, they'll survive. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, one, you're telling people not to listen to the community, and then you're telling them to just go and like make a mess of this other game. Like, yeah. And the frustrating part is you can't contact them to talk to them and help them play, because they're not listening to their comms. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, my head's
gonna care, apparently.
Oh, yeah.
Which, yeah. Like, I try to appreciate the fact that there are some players that came from Pokemon Go and wouldn't have even known about Ingress except for it. But it's just, the whole tone of the article just seemed very adversarial. It was very just taking shots at the Ingress game and the community. And I don't think there's any need for that. I mean, there's a place for these two games to exist in the same place. I mean, I play Pokemon Go, not as much as Ingress, but I do some. And I know a lot of people that do play it, and I don't really think those Pokemon Go players. I think those Pokemon Go players, when I see all the people driving up on like a cemetery in their trucks to get to a portal, that's when I think that, but not in general. So it's just like, Ingress players don't think all Pokemon Go players are those players.
I play Pokemon Go. Like, you heard my week. Like,
you're one of those.
I went to a park, took my husband and my son. We had a lovely day.
Yeah.
But yeah, but I like Ingress more. I think it's a deeper game, but that's because, like, I want to take shots now. That's because I'm not as involved probably in, I don't know, like, I don't get involved in the IVs and stuff with Pokemon Go. Right. Like, so, like, that's my choice as a player.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, the Sylph Road and like the Facebook communities and everything they do with Pokemon Go, like they get deep too in Pokemon Go, and I think that's
a deep game.
Great. And there's no need for these two games to like go at each other, because all suddenly you could have Ingress players going, okay, you're gonna do that. Well, we're gonna start fiddling with OPR to make sure all your portals in crap places. So when you get new gyms, they're gonna be in the middle of the river, Like,
yeah. You're going to have to go on this like 4-mile hike to get to this trail marker gym.
Right. So it's like, let's don't start that war. Let's just coexist. Yeah. And, if you need a portal created and it's a good submission, there's an agent around that will probably submit it for you. So get in, learn the community, become friends, and don't just do it to use other people to better your game.
And I think portal submission can be a nice draw to get people into Ingress. Right now, I have a coworker, and she's really interested in learning how to submit portals. And so I could go to her neighborhood and drive around with her all day and submit portals and stuff. But I told her it would be better if you learned how to do it yourself, and it wouldn't take that long.
Right.
And I started talking to her about the game, and she thinks her husband would actually like Ingress more than he likes Pokemon Go. So she said that kind of just seems like his style of gameplay. So I'm hoping, like, I'm waiting for her to contact me again. I don't want to be pushy.
Right.
But yeah, and I'm hoping she like contacts me, and then I'm like, let's go for a walk. Let's go see how this goes. But I think it can be a good entry into Ingress. Just once you start, then you kind of see how the game goes, and you can kind of figure out if the game's for you or not right away. But,
right. Yeah. Well, and I think part of it too is the community aspect. Like it becomes a bigger part of the game, I think, to me in the long run. Like doing bigger ops and anomalies and working just websites and podcasts, and like I think there's like I don't know, there's a lot more to the social aspect, and I like that part of Ingress too. But I think, not to slip into another segment yet, but I think what they could do is change OPR to be based, at least like portal submissions or something, based on how much activity you do. So you have to make, I don't know, what would be a decent 100,000 AP a month, and you keep your
I don't like
portal
that
submission.
idea. I'll Soho this right
No!
now. Because people in rural areas, you might, if you're lucky to have someone in a rural area that has managed to get to level 12, has been,
That's true.
inching away at this, like building a portal, letting it die, building a portal, letting it die, just to get all of the AP they need to get to level 12. And then to have some sort of monthly requirement for activity might be impossible for them. And the whole crazy part is they need to make portals to be active, but they're not active, and they can't be active enough because there aren't enough portals yet to do that. So you'd be hurting rural players by doing that.
Good point.
Yeah. Sorry.
Soho'd me.
I did.
So I'm gonna go cry, and we're gonna just go into this long, drawn out bumper for a very, very short segment.
Agents, it appears we have found something interesting. Media acquired.
So we're gonna put all the links that we've been talking about so far in SitRep in here as well. But also I had I have a link to ParkWiz for all you agents going to Ingress Anomalies. You're probably going to be in a city where you can find parking cheaper than the hotel parking if you use. There's a bunch of them: Spot Hero, ParkWiz. There's one with a panda, but I'll link you to a few of those so you can find some good spots. You'll get $5 off using this, and I'll get 10 for every 2 people. So help me make my parking free too. Huh? Like that. Dunraven Foundation. We'll link to number 15 so you can find out what's the deal with Clue. I thought I heard some flushing. Thought I'd wait for it to finish. So the cat's using the toilet. That's awesome.
Are people running back and forth? Oh my gosh.
But hey, at least the cat wasn't using the litter box this time.
I don't know why they can't shut the door.
So that leads us to
What's in the capsule? 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 What's in the capsule?
Oh, there's a frog in there. Hopping away. So, you want to read this first one? It was a YouTube comment, I think.
Sure. Let me see if I can read that. I need my glasses. The YouTube one?
Yeah.
John Rocks commented at 55. Oh, someone highlighted it and I can't read it now. It's gone.
Oh, I was trying to make it bigger. I screwed it
now
up.
It's like purple. I don't know what it is.
What's going on now?
Okay, here. John Ross commented at 55 minutes and 33 seconds. Yeah, some OPR people don't drop the pin even remotely properly. So yeah, I think that was a comment about we started OPR chatting towards the end of the show last week. Yeah. And yeah, I'll adjust rather than just give it a 1 and say location mismatch, I'll take the time and try and put the pin where it goes if I can.
Yeah, I'll find it.
Because a lot of times it'll be like in the middle of the road. Like I ran into like 4 today that were in the middle of the road, and I'm like, well, instead of saying not safe or not, and it's like I can see the place, I can see what, and I know they probably just, maybe fat fingered it and didn't hit submit before they edited the location.
Yeah, and I think this is another one of those things where you should take OPR before you are able to submit, because it's not very obvious that you even need to change the spot possibly, because if you're taking it,
it's not.
It puts the drop where you're taking it. But if you're taking a picture of something far away, it's going to be way away from it. And I've done this in the past, like you said, where I'd like submitted when it changed the location, and there's nothing you can do at that point. Like you don't want to resubmit right then. That seems
and getting a location changed is difficult because on the OPR side, the agents don't see where the current place is and where the change is. They just see 2, sometimes more locations, and it's like, which one is the right one? And like the idea, I understand from Niantic's point of view, is like, no, we just want to know which is the right one. Doesn't matter which one was first or second. Like, what's the correct spot? But the problem is, sometimes you can't tell. Like it's because Google Maps haven't been updated, since this thing got submitted, and the people maybe didn't do a street view. So it's like, and so you end up saying you don't know or you can't see it, and then it stays where it was.
Yeah. So speaking of street views, that brings up a good topic. So I was trying to take a street view of a library in my office. It's but the problem is the library is like 4 feet away from the wall.
The library is 4 feet.
Maybe. I mean, tall. Maybe like 4 feet tall. No, it's like 6 feet tall. But it has more books than most of the free libraries.
Free libraries.
Yeah, and there's another shelf full of books on the other side. There's 2, and games. It's got a bunch of scrap. But cool. The problem was when I was trying to take the photosphere, it just would not work because it was too like cramped in spaces. There's some technique to like take close-up photospheres.
I don't know.
No. It like would not line up. Like I would go to the right and it would like go over the library, and you're like, no, I need that part.
For people who don't know what we're talking about, when you are trying to submit a portal and it's an indoor item, or if it's perhaps in an area that that Google Maps hasn't updated because like, this building just got built last week, so there's no way the Google Maps is updated. You want to go and use the Google Street View app, and you can, with your regular phone, you can use a 360 phone. You can link an external 360 camera or import 360 photos, or you can just select camera, and then you'll take pictures. You'll keep your feet in one spot, but turn and take pictures all around you, above you, and then around you on the ground, and the app will create a photosphere of that area. So you upload that to Google Street View. It goes live into Google Maps very quickly, so that when you submit your portal then of the item you just took a photosphere of, like maybe a brand new playground or something, or an indoor piece of art, people can verify, yes, this exists. And I can see that it exists in the context that you're saying that it's a portal, and you're much more likely to get your portal approved. That's what we're talking. All right. So, because I saw someone today who didn't know that they could do that. So I just thought I would clarify in case someone else listening maybe did not know that you could do that.
No, I think that's awesome. I'm actually going to see if I can find the photosphere that I took to see how bad it is.
It's terrible.
It probably is. Are you laughing at me?
Yeah, because I remember.
You remember this discussion? Or
yeah,
the
I remember the picture. Yes, I have a bookshelf right here next to me. It looks exactly like that. I'm just gonna put a sign on it that says library and submit it as a portal if yours gets approved.
It has not been denied yet, though. That seems like there's
Well,
hope.
that's good. That's good.
Oh, I don't see it. I don't know if the photosphere got submitted.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not really sure where to look for it in this. I'm just on the maps.
Oh.
I figured it would be
There
like
should
under
be, like,
the.
Yeah, little spots, but
Yeah, maybe it didn't get submitted. I noticed that, like on my phone, it would like sort of queue it up, but you had to actually go, "Hey, submit this."
mm-hmm.
And so I submitted a bunch at once. I wonder if it submitted it at the wrong place.
That's possible if your Wi-Fi's, or not your Wi-Fi, but if your location's off when you're doing your photosphere, it might not be in the right spot. I don't know how to fix that.
Oh, there's 3D things. Cool. Sorry, now I'm just playing in Google Maps. Isn't this a great show?
Yeah. This is our new
I'll look
podcast
later.
called Google Maps.
Okay. So Arctic Rebel, he's in chat right now, and he's got a WITC comment. It says for new players.
One more comment about the
Yep.
photosphere. Arctic Rebel did just pipe up and say, when people see the photospheres in OPR, it will say who submitted the photosphere. So if you live in a highly competitive area for Ingress, Gmails are free, people. Make a new one. Don't put it under your real name, because then people will see who submitted the portal in OPR and then see your real name on the Google Maps, and then they'll know who you are.
Dun, dun,
Also,
dun, dun.
yeah, and if you know, it's just a privacy concern. And another thing you can do is simply, you can use your game name if you want, if you're not concerned about like the other side of the game. If you're not worried about if you're green or blue, worried about the other team denying you simply because of the faction you're playing on. That's another issue in certain areas. It's wrong.
It is.
Do that.
And
If it should be a portal, you make it a portal. That's how it goes.
yeah. And you should
But-
probably, if there are people in your area that do deny it just because of your team, you should go and make sure you try to submit the best portal candidates possible and somewhere that they're definitely going to review it, so they eventually get to a really crappy OPR score because they are scoring it improperly.
That's true.
Or maybe not. Whatever. Just have fun. Submit good portals.
And use a fake Google name.
Do that. Okay.
All right, I'm sorry. What else does Arctic Rebel say?
He says for new players and players grinding for that Spec Ops medal, not all missions are made equally. Some are much, much harder than others. Some missions require you merely to hack 6 portals and you are done. Others require you to have local knowledge of an area and be willing to travel for hours to finish even a single mission. Some even have questions about the portals involved and require you to spend time solving riddles. If you are just trying to get the Spec Ops medal, maybe look for simple hack-only missions. If you want more of a challenge, branch out and try some of the other types. Also, when working on missions, make sure you do your research and allow enough time to finish what you would like to. If you have questions about missions, maybe send a message to the creator of the mission. If the creator is from the other team and you don't want to reach across faction lines, try finding someone who has claimed portals near the mission. Or if you are lucky and you can find people who have completed the mission you are wanting to do by looking at the badges that they have.
Yeah, I've had people cross-faction contact me. I think I've talked about that before on the show. I don't mind. I'll answer questions or even edit the mission to make it to make sure it's, because my concern, I want people to play in the area. That's why I made the mission. So, and if that gives, if that provides more people to play against or with, either way, it's a win. So,
Yeah,
activity. You need activity.
that's true. Ooh, ooh, ooh. You want to read this one too?
Sure. Sansia? Is that what I'm going to say?
It
Sansia?
sounds like you did.
I think it did. Sansia says it's another Pokemon Ingress idea.
Oh no. Should
Regular-
I get
I know. Regular Pokestops with level 1 or no level Ingress portal on the other side gives 1 item per the level of the portal. So if it's a level 1 portal in Ingress, it gives 1 item for the Pokestop. But if it's level 2, it gives 2 items, 3, it gives 3 items, so on and so on. And so a level 8 portal would give 8 items in a Pokestop. And then on the Ingress side, you get more items from Ingress by how many people spin the photo disc on the Pokestop.
And this is similar to their idea last week. Basically, mechanics that cross genres, cross games.
Yeah. I like the mixing of the games because I play both, but I could kind of see. I like the idea if it's a level 1. That it gives 1 item and 2 items and stuff. But that's because where I play, there's a variety of levels of Ingress portals. If you were in a very, there are towns you drive through and they're gray. They're just gray. So all of those Pokestops would be level 1 Pokestops. And so they'd always be around 1 item. And if it's like a rural area, there's only like a couple Pokestops in town anyway. Then you're further hindering those rural players who can't get to big towns to play, because then they're still just getting like 1 item for their 1 or 2 Pokestops they have in town. So that could be a little tough, depending on the area you play in.
Yeah.
But I like the idea for where I play.
You just get more people playing Ingress so that they could get items in Pokemon Go.
I like that idea. Yeah.
But then they would get, everything closed down around there and taken out of Ingress as well.
Right.
Especially my desk portal in my backyard. No, just kidding. Don't have that yet. So I don't know. I'm still kind of on the fence about the cross game things. Like on one end, I can kind of see that Ingress can kind of allow that because it's like, oh yeah, you're actually interacting with the real world through Ingress. And Pokemon Go is in the real world, so there's no reason why there couldn't be some reason why something affects one or the other.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, all the ramifications of how that would cause people to act and play, scares me a little bit.
True.
So, but thanks for sending in the idea. Sorry that Zelly Belly Soho'd it. Anyway.
I Soho'd it. I'm sorry.
DSUT88 says, hi guys from New Zealand. Just throwing this one out there. Can this Kiwi suggest portal submissions get published in comms immediately they are submitted with an OPR link? Submission alerts to be treated like comms messages per distance set in comms. To me, this would be an added improvement in getting portals reviewed more effectively, regardless of location, with an added bonus that all agents can see how portal subs are trending in their local area. Those still expect agents' names to remain anonymous. The current setup for initial areas is buggy as I get submissions well outside the area all the time. Cheers. Love the show. DSOT88. What do you think about that one?
I get portal submissions for all over the place. Like I had 4 or 5 from Mexico today. Like I'm like, I don't know what that says.
Right. So do you think that's because
that's accurate?
Do you think that's because you're out of submissions in your area though, and so it's reaching out and grabbing some from other places?
I have no idea.
So it's like I wonder if part of the issue is there needs to be more submissions in their area, and that's why they're not getting more OPR stuff locally.
I don't know. I'm not sure. I like the idea. I'll give the Soho. I'm gonna be the new Soho. Putting the OPR link in there so that people can go ahead and run in there and review that portal sounds like a good idea on the surface. But if you live in an area where
contentious area,
people are actively approving and denying portals in team numbers. to make sure that only certain factions get approved and in certain areas. That would just make sure they would just be alerted to keep an eye out for this one, keep an eye out for that one.
Right. And it would also be in comm data, which could then be scraped and put into something, and you could have an alert set to basically say this is an enlightened area, or it could do some detection, and they could figure all that out
and then they
send
would
out this alert.
List.
Go OPR right now to this one, flag it.
Yeah.
And we
deny.
Yeah. And we definitely don't want anything like that, because then legit reviews will start getting bad grades, and good reviewers will suddenly be in bad standing, because it will have nothing to do with the actual portal submission, unfortunately.
And that's sad that people abuse the system like that, because otherwise it's a great idea.
Right.
Like you have a great idea where you just want people to be aware, like, hey, here's something local we need to approve and get on this, and that's how it should work. That would be good.
And I would suggest to you, make sure that like when I start putting in portals that I want reviewed, I start alerting my local community, saying, hey, I put in these portals, not saying, hey, go 5-star these because they suck, but to just, hey, go in and review them. Whatever you think you should review them as,
just
review them.
Nudge people to do their OPR reviews. Yeah, like, hey, there's something in there locally. Make sure you go do some reviews.
Yeah. And on the other side, do only submit portals that you think are legitimate candidates. And I know I'm still getting flack about my library, but to me, it's still a legitimate candidate.
You think so? But hey, you know what? There's a painting I keep submitting over and over again, and I don't care. I think it's legit, and I'm going to keep posting it.
Right. You need another photo scan.
Yeah. I did.
You need another one.
Yeah.
One every day.
I saw one today for it was a supply shed. I was just like, this is in here? Like, are you serious? Very frustrating.
Uh-oh. Alexa's...
I'm here.
Hey, Alexa.
No, it's Siri.
Oh, hey, Siri.
Whenever I say serious, she pops in. No, I didn't say Siri. I said serious.
Okay. Well, like I said, we're cutting a little bit short. We started a little bit early, too, so not super short. But we do have a code this month, and it's all ready and waiting for you on the website, agentacademypodcast.com. Head on over there. Achievement code is AA NOLA 2019 AA. So that's AANOLA 2019 AA. And if you are in New Orleans this upcoming weekend, find me. I got some Agent Academy trading cards, and I'll probably have some pins around with me as well. Come say hi and get you some Agent Academy swag if you want. So that's about it. Y'all come back next week. Bye.
Okay. Bye.
And don't get Soho'd.
Sorry, everybody.